might be a bit scary for them, as you heard the desk talking about a couple of known contenders in some dangerous positions. We'll be trying to give you guys updates on how that's all going to be looking. Plane is up in the air, and we're going to be starting over in the north near Severny and ending just pretty much next to Ferry Pier.
Yeah, I got to throw a third one into that mix as well. 4 a.m. A much better day today than they were having yesterday, but they still haven't really kind of climbed out of that danger zone. In fact, only a few more points in the bag than Cerberus and FaZe Clan currently have at 47, while I think Cerberus and FaZe are sitting at 42. But yeah, a drop off from 5th to 6th overall, with Falcons having 62, and then 5th and 6th is 47 with 4 Angry Men. It's kind of crazy. We've had a few teams that have really kind of taken a hold and just kind of collecting a bag of points so far, but everybody else is still fighting for their lives right now.
It's a bit hit or miss for some of these squads, but we are on Erangel. That's at least the benefit for this group, right?
Yeah,
this is kind of like, if you're in Group B, you get to end on Erangel, and that means that you get to play the most common map that you're the most familiar with, so this should be your opportunity.
No lead? Navi?
Yeah.
Guys, what's going on here?
Fairest? I don't. What you got going on? Oh, and you don't have near on anything to work with. That is a bad loot situation to be dealing with. See, E-Arena is also kind of in a weird position, stopping out any reinforcements coming up from Navi. So Falcons just trying to hold it, but Fairest playing this really well for right now. Is he going to go for the flush? Is he going to try to hold it together? Looks like he's just going to go to try to hold it. Stepping in, waiting for somebody to step around that corner. Not going to find it just quite yet, but at least staying alive. Reinforcements, so as I was mentioning, not the easiest path. E-Arena kind of stopping them out, taking a couple of shots, maybe slowing them.
Yeah, just keeping an eye on Hackatory. Flood, his sole job right now, it seems, is to make sure that Hackatory doesn't come over here and join his teammate and provide support. Rello, he's got the pumpy in hand. He's ready to go. He wants to be done with this.
But he's not going to be done with it just quite yet. Here come the reinforcements. You can see everybody rolling down. Even Tigger does spot out what's going on over here. It looks like he's trying to get an eye and figure out what's going to be happening. But all the reinforcements now coming in for Navi means that Falcons playing this firm defended position all next to each other with low loot. They're going to be easily exploited here if they're not careful.
While all this is going on, the first circle did pop, and we are going hard to the southwest.
Yep.
Staying on the mainland, but that means this fight is going to have to come to a head, and it's going to have to be finished as quickly as possible for these guys. As Tigger just wants to get involved with that M16.
Shotguns Rello, playing it careful. Nade's going to be coming out.
Good flashbang.
Yep, steps away from it. Now can he step back in? Numbers advantage should make this pretty clean, but yep. Soset's the one that gets spotted out, and I think that we saw a window juke come out just a moment ago. Yep, he's just dancing around everywhere right now, dude.
Fairest, the SMG working big for him, but not going to let him escape as Snakers goes down once again, but should be resable, I believe. Hackatory back on his feet. Diffix now coming to provide some support. Flood.
7 bullets.
He's got him out in the middle of nowhere. Flood, look at him. He's so mad. I would be too. That sucks.
I mean, we just seen SMGs everywhere, and I'm loving it right now. Rello trying to step around with an AR, put in some work, but this is a super low economy fight. Not a lot of armors to be had, no helmets you can see walking around on Rello right now. That's why all these peaks just get more nerve-wracking every single step of the way. E-Arena continuing to hear this, moving into more advantageous positions to see if they can try to vulture up something, but it's going to be raw. Spots out Diffx, does manage to take him down.
And Sizzy back on that high ground, looking down in this direction. M16's abound for E-Arena. We saw one find some success as Hackatory now the last player left up for Navi. We'll spot out Roth. He has no healing, no helmet, practically no vest. Sizzy almost gets reload, but Bobo, where's 4 a.m.?
4 a.m. is up on the top side of Stallber, maneuvering down just kind of the south of this position, really getting in some good angles, and it just feels like everything is getting exploited over here. All of 4 Angry Men, they don't care about the circle. They're stepping into this. E-Arena is still running a 2-2 split of some type to deal with it, but Falcons in so much trouble. Even if they survive this, Hackatory has no meds. He has no ammo. He's just trying to find something. Falcons are going to be in a similar position. Look at their economy, and they're going to have to move halfway across the map.
Oh, this is so brutal for Falcons right now, but if I'm 4 a.m., you've got to push into this. You're running out of time at this point to really start collecting points, as they are in Group B. They don't play tomorrow, and they're just going to have to sit there and sweat. So right now, this is looking like a feastable platter here for 4 a.m. Meanwhile, 17 and Valley Tie getting a little bit of close to each other as Megalos going to try to escape. Xiaowu with the big shots. Not going to find anything, though.
This is back over here near the Gatka area that the desk was talking about coming into it. So Petrichor Road going to navigate through. 17 Gaming. Valley Tie is running a 3-1. So Kiss with that southern position is going to try to provide some type of reinforcements. I like this coming out from Hakatori. He realizes, no, I just have to survive. If I can make this as painful as possible for my opponents, maybe there's some type of retaliation that comes through with it. But Falcons, remember the fact that this is going to be their last 2 games. They are sitting pretty good on the leaderboard right now, but every single point that they can pick up is going to make them feel more comfortable. This is not the start that they wanted to air and go.
The one good thing that they've got going for them right now is that E-Arena is going to go ahead and bail out on this. Now, whoever does come out ahead in this fight, though, is going to have to worry about AGG, who apparently is doing a little bit of a casual bridge camp just off to their west. So Hakatori still no heals. He's going to have to operate with whatever 20, 15 HP he's got left. At least he's got an AR in hand.
I mean, no lean is so hard to navigate just in general whenever you're going to be trying to leave this position. But whenever you have, 3 different teams that are trying to hold out some type of fashion, finally, E-Arena's like, okay, there's too many people involved. They're going to leave. But that means that this is still a potential 4-team dust-up. We had it at 5 just a second ago. 4 Angry Men also look like they're finally stepping away. They're going to jump in their vehicles and retreat. But AGG just pretty firmly committed right now. They think that they can get something out of this.
I'm not sure if they're even aware of that fight that's going on specifically, but they're just trying to camp whoever's coming out of Yasnaya. So that might be just AGG knowing that 4 a.m. loot's up in Yasnaya. They haven't come just yet, so they're just going to sit there and wait for them to arrive a little bit late. But we'll see what happens. Petrichor Road, meanwhile, getting a little bit close to TSM over here on the far western coast, but it looks like they should be able to bail out.
Most of our teams are going for a center position. The Falcons push finally coming out. I mean, Hakatori, I don't know what type of ammo that he managed to find inside this building, but I think last time I saw him, he had 26 bullets to work with. He's got to make every single one of these count. But you can see, still no helmets, damaged armor stepping in. They've got to make sure that they know the angle it's going to be coming out from. They do spot him, finally finish that one out. But now they have the problem of rotation ahead of them.
It's going to be a problem, too, because I'm not sure if there's any vehicles really anywhere near them. So I'll have to keep an eye on them as check in with Cerberus. They have themselves a little bit of a compound to work with, and that is good news for them as they are yet another one of our teams that really need to start producing here in these final 2 games.
17 Gaming is pretty close to the center of the circle and is our most eastern team. It's between them and Cerberus inside the circle right now. It's pretty wild. Everybody is just really leaning into the fact that this is going to pull away from the water. They know it's going to be happening in a bit, but trying to play the math and the numbers. So hard shifts right now could be very interesting for these squads to have to deal with.
We saw FaZe making their way across from Military Island. They're still hugging the coast and should find pretty free passage as there's nobody really down on that coastline south of the road. We still have VP way off in the distance. 4 a.m. obviously making their way down. They're going to avoid that Yasnaya bridge altogether. So AGG, they stick around for a long time, but don't find any success for it.
Yeah, they did see the rotation, I believe, because they hopped in vehicles at roughly the same time. That's going to open up a bit easier for Falcons, but the Falcons are probably going to make a move over into the west. It's going to be very peculiar to watch how they make their rotation. VP, also one of the late rotators, they're going to be making their way out of Milton in just 1 second. They should be headed to a pretty empty edge, let's be honest. Nobody around there. I mean, there's all of Everest as a gap. Right?
Falcons find an E pickup, so...
Oh, that's a scary E pickup, dude. With no helmets and no armor?
I mean, it's terrifying, but at least they got something. But, hey, we talked about AG Global, how they were conducting that bridge camp earlier. They were not the only ones. KDF is hanging out around Cube just to the north side of Stalber. So this could be bad news for AGG. The campers could be getting camped.
Okay, let's see how this one all stacks up together as we're watching the replay of what happened in this very prolonged fight. I mean, all of Circle 1 was just a duel between these two squads. Yes, Falcons do come out with the win, but how big of a win could it be is the real question, as we're going to be eyeing forward off of it. And this emergency pickup looks like they do have their eyes moving in just one moment. Also, KDF, man. KDF, what are they going to find?
And you see Zest eyeballing Everest, but they don't have any idea about Cube just yet. We'll see where Falcons decide to go. At least they did manage to find some helmets and armor, at least Snakers did anyway. 2
smokes and no other throwables, just a couple of bandies. That feels real good.
It ain't great. It really ain't great.
Zest.
All right, well, Zest, are you going to be the one that spots them? Are they going to take shots at you? No, this is bait. Nope, never mind. They are going to take shots. And Zest is going to breeze right through, but there we go. Now that is how you bridge camp.
Okay, pick up one. AGG now know that they have to go to one of the two other bridges, so we'll see. I would be surprised if they thought that that was just like a tail in solo trying to regroup or something like that. I mean, it's a pretty late stage inside of it. They're still committed in. Circle is going to lean pretty centered, just a bit more to the west. Keeping an eye on Falcons as they are in the air. You can see going to be right over Petrichor Road now. See where they're going to drop in at. Bay's going to do a rotation down to the south as E-Arena does have a lot of control along this road to the west. Kind of a beneficial position for them right now, but no big rotators coming in just yet.
Falcons pull the cord right above T1. So we'll see where they end up going. So far, it looks like they're mostly safe as BB Team going to spot out Cerberus in rotation. Gets them low, but doesn't get that last round in.
Cerberus now has to reposition away from that, putting them in 4 Angry Men's sight lines potentially. Ema is just going to be running right up that hillside. Going to be able to use it, though, to deny any type of vision. You can see 4 Angry Men can't quite catch the beginning of this, but the tail end that we can see coming out with Cerberus could get caught. Shots are going to come out, reveal that. Depending on how Cerberus plays this, they might be able to get a bit more distance away, but now Cerberus gets bumped to TSM. Nothing available right now.
Well, they're working the valleys right now. They're working the good driving lanes here, avoiding most of the, at least most of the full shots as they find themselves a nice little dip and valley to play in. And TSM sparking, I believe, one of the few that has eyes on it, but Chewy actually going to have a nice angle as well.
Falcons did manage to find a compound just to the west of where you saw Cerberus just a second ago. You can see them off in the distance there, and they have something to hold on to for right now, so it's actually a pretty good position. So all in all, not the best start, but at least it's far more comfortable than it was, let's say, at the 30 seconds into drop.
Well, it's definitely been a rough 11 minutes, 11 and a half minutes here on Erangel to start things off. But it's not looking like it's going to get any easier. Here's Virtus Pro is going to spot out Posa at that radio tower. He is all by himself, though. The rest of his team downhill off to the north, all the way off in the radio tower as he hangs out at the observatory. But it looks like VP, they spot him. They're just going to go ahead and pull away as we check in with KDF. Making their way in on the north side. Nobody really looking in their direction just yet. Actually, no, it looks like Valley Thai might have spotted them out. AGG, meanwhile, still all the way out in the blue, right where the Freaks left them.
I mean, in God compound.
Oh, they're E-pick-upping now, too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're probably going to make the jump in. You can see a couple of the regroupings happen. This is a very strong compound for the circle for Petrichor Road to hold down. A lot of control over here in the shark fin position that you can see. I guess with the old tempo drop, whatever you want to call it. Very centered right now as well, so a lot of tension going to be coming this direction. There's a couple of different dips around the outside of it. A couple of teams can try to hold on to if we can see it continue to condense down here. But you can see they've got a buffer zone around them as AGG. They could be a catalyst team that might try to drop a bit close to them.
This is very scary moments here for AGG as they come in with the circle now. They should be.
See, I want to point this out there while we can see this. Look at how much field is in this circle. So that's why we're seeing everybody playing that centered area. We've got the Gatka fields. We've got that area just south of Hospital. And so that's where they're opting into the emergency pickup. They want to try to jump over all of this and find a way to kind of sneak their way in. The problem is everything outside of these field areas is where the other 52 people are going to be at. Well, 53, sorry.
You see shots coming from Luna Galaxy. Nothing landing, though. And I mean, the other thing you have to consider when you take the E-pickup is that they're not going to have a vehicle, right? Yep. So you would think that maybe dropping more towards the edge would be safe, and now they see that circle pop, and immediately they pull off.
Well, 2 of them do. Tycon going to be coming in the tail end of it as they are going to have T1 rotating down below them, and so yes, Petrichor Road going to be down to the south of it. Looks like they're just going to eye for this hillside. This hillside can be supported without anything. You can kind of push around it, so it's a good call. It is a bit open, but they do have a couple of teams that could try to defend. They just have to make landfall around it. It's going to be VP to the north. Petrichor Road's going to lose that vision, so they do manage to land. Tycon is going to get spotted out, and he's going to get ripped apart. So AGG trying to find some type of way to survive this one.
Yeah, Sapao gone down as well as Sir T. Now the last one remaining is T1 going to make their move right past E-Arena's Tigger, who's the only one inside the zone right now for his squad. The rest of the boys still off to the west on the coastline. So Tigger holding down this high priority compound by himself, and it looks like it's working.
I mean, E-Arena has been very, very greedy in these circles to the north. They've tried to hold down so much of it. They've been running a full 4-man split everywhere. Finally, looks like they're trying to regroup. T1 just trying to find somewhere that they can navigate through. Looks like they're just going to opt into going for a very strong, I guess, it's right over there next to the tower position, so you can get some of these hillsides in play and kind of look around, get what's going on. But they do have Heaven that's just going to be on the, I'd say about 50 or so meters to their east.
Ooh, almost gets him too. See now as the Kraken and Luna Galaxy squaring off with VP. The first knock and flush comes through, although Vinny is down as well. Now Quizzy is going to go down as Luca Rux and Ibby, the last two remaining alive.
Got a couple of friends wanting to hang around the outside of this one too. As you can see, 17 might be able to throw some exertion into it. FaZe making their rotation. They're going to be rolling right next to the standing line that is E Arena, so a couple of shots going to discourage one way. It's just kind of a gauntlet to see if they can catch anybody right now, but most of the gauntlet defenders not in position. Haisaki, you might want to be careful here. It is going to be Falcons taking some shots in, but this is not even in the zone. I think that Cerberus were just kind of seeing what they could get over here, maybe needing some loot. This is a peculiar play out of that. I don't know what they were thinking.
Well, the E Arena split. He couldn't defend the compound by himself. This time Zizzy's going to go down. Tigger's compound, though, still in play, still defended. So that's where Jacob and Lyrics are going to end up. So FaZe do find themselves some hard cover to work with, albeit on the very edge of the zone. Falcons, meanwhile, as you said, still outside of the circle. They need to find a place to play.
So let's look out. We've got our field team.
Did they just pop it? You heard the E pickup.
Oh, for Cerberus? They might just be trying to do it to see if they can get some attention or maybe draw something away.
Could be, yeah.
Okay, so let's see this one all together. T1 having to navigate a pretty dangerous zone right now. They do have the Freaks next to them. Field team's going to have some vision coming their direction, most notably from the south. It's going to be Luna Galaxy that could spot something out. Valentine is going to be playing the dips over into the east and Gatka proper. So anybody that goes for big heavy peaks over to the east, they might get spotted out. It's pretty much just the hill to the south with everybody in it. The swamp, it's got a couple of teams there, and then everybody else is starting to hunker down in a couple of those fields. So let's just go ahead and keep the field, the hill, and the swamp in play.
Dead center. All right, Luna Galaxy has that center compound. Looks like the Kraken going to go ahead and join him, and it looks like Cerberus, in fact, did take that E pickup. It was not bait. Instead, it was them trying to make a push into that wide open field, see if they can maybe find a ridge line to play. Keep an eye on the kill feed to see if they get away with it. Surtee did get the res on his fallen teammate, but unfortunately for him, BB team rather going to go and spot him out. So now Surtee, the last player alive for his squad.
Cerberus did manage to make landfall. They've got a couple of hay bales that they're playing around right now. BB team, they have a couple of gatekeepers that they might have to contend with, as you were talking about with Surtee. We also do have 4 Angry Men, Petrichor Road, all having to make a rotation here in just 1 second. Virtus Pro doing some harassment from their control positions that they've got right now. TSM is also going to hear that with Purdy Curdy over there, and they might make a bit of a line defense of their own along that hillside.
51 left alive here in phase 4, so it's been an active Aaron goal here is Perro getting a little bit close there with that grenade. It's 4 a.m. trying to get involved here. They've been crowding 4 deep inside the sniper tower for quite some time, so they don't really have a whole lot of intel about what's going on around them.
Also want to point out FaZe, team we've been talking about, needs points. They are not inside the circle, and they're next to the field side, so they're about to have to make a big push of their own. Petrichor Road still having to deal with 4 Angry Men. They're going to separate out, both of them eyes to the north. You still have Surtee that's kind of hanging out over there, but 4 Angry Men can just shift a bit more to the north, play that kind of like, I guess, dip that's in the side of the hill there. Yeah, that's where HS is going to stop off at. That's going to make it more complicated for Petrichor Road. As you can see, other members are now going to be playing the high side of the hill to see if they can manage to stop any movement coming up from Petrichor Road. Problem is, it's really easy. You can read it, so Petrichor Road knows exactly where to throw their throwables at. See if they can catch some damage. Doesn't get the knockdown.
Just want to point out the fact that somehow Cerberus did manage to pull off that phase 4 E pickup, and they kept all 3 alive, and they've got a spot towards the center of the circle right now. As we see Ike's left and company trying to make the push into the smokes. They do have that wild card factor of Surtee just off to the west, but it doesn't look like he's going to get involved. It doesn't look like they need him to get involved because they are just running through the 4 a.m. boys.
Valentine is taking the shots in the backside of 4 Angry Men at the absolute worst moment. Distracted them. Petrichor Road exploits it, just runs directly into it. Sitting at 4 kills right now. They have finally a section of the map that they can control inside the circle. 4 Angry Men, though, they've just got to cut out just 2 Angry Men at the time, as Falcons, you can see, do find themselves a spot inside the zone. Still not the most looted, but slowly getting there.
Yeah, they just yoinked a kill away from FaZe, too, as FaZe crashed onto the other E-Arena compound, and they managed to wipe them out with some well-placed grenades and a little bit of assistance from the Falcons boys. But now you see Xiaobei at an angle is going to get the knock on a Snakers. It's not easy spot here for Falcons to play, but it's working for the time being.
Every FaZe fan excited that the weakened Falcons are just going to be to their south. The circle moves more into the fields, so we're going to have a ton of hay bales. That position that we saw the Freaks moving into just a moment ago, that hillside, going to be very strong inside the circle, man.
Boy, want to talk about the rich getting richer as well. Freaks, they've been playing the North for some time here, and they are just controlling pretty much all of that field. They see everything, they know everything. They've got some of their own to play with. Is Perro going to turn their attention over towards BB Team? And right now they are ahead, as I believe it's just a doozy and best of luck left.
Oh, this is getting a bit more hazardous.
Never mind.
BB Team trying to regroup over here, but you can see Petrichor Road back up against the wall, trying to get some more damage out. AGG Surti is back behind BBT. You can see they're trying to move in. Might be able to spot this. Aduzi wants to see if he can get something. Does go for play, but it's actually going to be Surti that goes for the shots in, finishing that one out.
Oh, no. You hate to see that if you're Petrichor Road, but you love it if you're AGG. And now Aduzi has to put all of his attention. It's still a 1v1 here. If he can get this flush onto Surti there, actually it's going to be Alo that gets it. So maybe we can get some BB Team revives coming in here, but TSM is crashing down.
I mean, TSM, they want every bit of that 1v1, so just couldn't get the distraction from Surti. Stopped them out. FaZe trying to make their push in. They went right exactly where Freaks were already defended up at. Does manage to get a knock in. Salute's going to have to come over and reinforce. Team still playing on the outside, trying to control more. The only member that is still up. He is not inside the zone and has no easy pathing. Look at all of the mortars just flying right now. This is so open. This is a horrible place if you are getting mortared, and it's going all into the Freaks' direction.
It started as a 2-2 trade, but then the mortars came in, and now James is just going to have to run on out of there and try to wrap around back down to the south. He does have one solo player in Roth for the Falcons that's still alive that he may run into, but KDF, they held off the charge. They get everybody back on their feet once again. They would love to. I would like to see him go and flush these kills out, at least confirm those points. Yep, there we go.
I think that they're afraid to go for a peek. T1 was kind of eyeing this line a second ago. Plus, they've got a bit of shell shock. All those mortars kind of landing down on top of them, being a bit more precarious with their approach. Valley Thai is going to be rotating up back behind this, but we have VP that's trying to gatekeep out what's going on with 17 right now while they're getting harassed by TSM. So they're going to have to relent that defensive line, maybe allowing 17 to make a bit more of a rotation as Roth does finally get spotted out.
Oh man, I hate playing these cliff sides here. It just always seems so tough. VP not even going to be the one that does the damage here. It's going to be raining. T1 just forcing 17 to have to push into to VP here, and at least the first spray will come out. Suju will find the first knock onto Ibiza.
17 just has to fight their way through. They've got T1 on one angle, and they've got VP on the other. There is just nothing that they can manage to make work. TSM, though, wanted to try to exploit anything that 17 managed to set up. They don't manage to do it. So instead, TSM's just going to hard push, directly run right up into the faces of VP, but VP is doing a great job of trying to defend everything that's been thrown at them so far. Looks back in, do manage to get the knock onto Alo, so TSM, they still need to finish this fight and walk into the circle, but VP has their own plan in mind. Sitting at 3 kills right now, 2 members still up. They have all of the control and defense.
Yeah, TSM kind of feeling themselves right now. 5 kills in the bag, and they are going to go ahead and push onto this compound. Purdy Curdy holding the line, just making sure that they can get this revive onto Alo through the smokes. He's just continuing to smoke off any of the angles that VP may have onto their revive. As Quizzy, he's got, oh no, we've seen this before.
You may have the numbers advantage for now, says my Panzerfaust. That's why they kept retreating up to the top of this. They're trying to bait out the stairwell so they can just line in with the Panzerfaust. Doesn't look like TSM's going to take the bait, but they're going to have to do something here pretty quick. The circle is condensing down right now. They've got to make some type of play. It's going to be blue zone in it. Try to force it out, but Quizzy just doesn't manage to spot him out. The smoke's going to deny. He can hear the footsteps. He's going to go for the shot. No, he gets spotted. And now VP in a lot of trouble. Just one member up, and it's just a ton of TSM around him.
Yeah, at this point, I think Luka Rux is just trying to waste their time 2024 as he mollies off the staircase. Will find one, but won't find anybody else. TSM going to pick up another kill. And now Luke 12, they can get him back on their feet and get back into this game. TSM just running things right now.
TSM is having a great day so far, and
Absolutely.
they're just going to throw Alo in their pocket and make a run into the zone. They're going to have high ground and a ton of information to work with, while Cerberus is going to try to hold out this Valley Thai defense. Salute also to the north. You can see flexing out, seeing if he can find an angle and what's going to be going on. This is a very interesting circle as we have KDF up to the north of it, and then we're going to have TSM to the south, and everything else is going to be kind of in a valley point with a ton of vision for those 2 squads to work around.
And Cerberus pull off the ballsy circle 4 pickup are now causing all types of problems for Valley Thai. The smoke wall going to slow things down for a while here, and it's going to send some utility back in return in those form of those blue zone grenades. Try to slow them down a little bit more. Haisaki will find one. Actually going to be Human that gets the last hit into Latte. And now Unique will go down as well. So it's just down to Kiss and Megalos.
Valley Tide cannot find a way to make that work. Harassment's already coming out from the TSM line on one angle. Salute creeping closer by the second. Valley Tide wants to take a second and reset. Cerberus wants the same thing, but it's just unrelenting right now. A shot's going to be coming out from the Freaks. They're going to go ahead and finish that one out on one side of it. Valley Tide thinks that they might have an opportunity to move forward, but while Freaks are trying to move into this firefight, Luna's going to force them onto a new angle. Valley Tide gets the time that they need to try to reset, get some of their meds back in position. Looks in. Kiss is going to be able to get the knock on to Bean, and the rest of the Freaks are kind of stalled out. Heaven's at distance, and you can see the knocks and the secondary damage is causing too big of a problem. TSM continuing to rain down those bullets.
I mean, TSM is shooting over here. Luna Galaxy is shooting over here. There just seems to be no safe angle. You got to keep those smokes refreshed. You got to keep them going back and forth here as you see Human going to take one right to the dome from TSM. But they will get everybody back on their feet. Valley Tide now down to Kiss. Kiss going to make the push through the blue zone. What a play.
Kiss has just been holding this defense together right now. He needs to make something happen. They've got to finish this out. This is going to be a terrible rotation. They managed to spot it. Kiss wants some more, but there's just so much secondary damage coming in. He can't take the time to stop. Heaven wants to try to finish it out. Does manage to spot out Kiss. Gets the knock onto him. And this is a long-range 1v1 with everybody else from Luna and TSM just trying to feast on any kill that pops into vision.
Oh, and it looks like Megalos is just going to go ahead and lie prone. And just we're back to wasting time here. Heaven not even in zone as the new circle has popped. It's going to go off to the left. TSM still using that high ground to their advantage. T1 is just sitting there in their compound, just magnets on their shoes for this zone. We'll see if they can maybe stop the movable object that is TSM right now.
11 kills for TSM, 7 for Freaks. The rich are getting richer by the second. 83 points with a 9-point lead over Valley Tide. So these guys neck and neck. That's why they were going for it. They want to try to get some security and trying to take out the teammates, but it was mutually assured destruction as finally Valley Tide is going to go down. So Freaks going to at least get some points out of survival. Seven looks like he managed to get back into his vehicle, but he can't make a rotation, dude. You can see I think he's just going to feed it over the blue maybe. Yep, that's what he's going to do. So Luna, T1, and TSM all up on top of each other, 4v4, v3.
A little low on ammo there, Kirk. Might want to stop down and get something up off of those VP boys. Is T1 going to send some more shots back in return, force them to not peek over that ridge line. But now TSM is in a little bit of a pickle here because you got T1 looking at you, you got Luna Galaxy looking at you as well, and everybody is expecting you to push down, and here it comes. The smokes haven't even bloomed yet. Luke 12 going to try to send it. Good shots from Purdy will prevent End from just free farming onto him.
Oh, Raining was the side angle onto this. Does spot out Purdy. Curdy's going to make it more complicated. See the rest of the squad seeing if maybe they can deny out anything that's going to be going on. Raining's kind of the sacrificial pawn over here, but more of a queen. He is just making sure to hold down every single play, deny it out. Luna now moving forward, realizing the opportunity in front of them. They have to be careful. Luke 12 could have some vision in, but a good nade is going to stop anything TSM is trying to cook over here.
Just nothing they could do at the end there as Luke 12 will hide out in the crates for as long as he can. LG, they are Luna Galaxy rather, pulled up on the high ground there, but they immediately were spotted by T1. They'll have to retreat once again, but they've got their backs against the blue. There's not really a clear path for them to get into this next zone.
Yeah, this is just very well defended right now from T1. They've got this entrenched position. They've got the walls. They've got that bit of a dip around the road, and they can exploit so much. Opposing side of this one, Luna is all having to funnel in right on top of each other. Luke's kind of the point that they're having to funnel into. T1's Raining, you can see slowly creeping out. Kraken's trying to find something. Does get the knock. That's going to be big. Can this be enough for Luna to find some way to maneuver around the zone?
Luna getting blessed with that compound for quite some time, but you see the kills just not there, and they need more points. Only 16 on the day so far. They've still got another day to play, but they would like to get over 30 before all is said and done here today. But it's going to be tough sledding here with this last circle being the way it is. They're already now lost Heaven, raining down as well, so 2v2 essentially.
This is such a hard push coming out from Luna. They're trying to find something, but look at the defended walls, everything along those lines. They've got some cover to work around. T1 has trees, they've got cover, they've got recessed positions to play from. So trying to go for some reses and continue in. It's just an attrition battle. Every single step Luna takes is coming at a cost of health and utility. Meanwhile, TSM might want some vengeance back. Looks like they're prepped up, just waiting. Looks like, yeah, I dare you to look in here. I think that you have some cover. I dare you.
I will blind you so fast, sir. We've seen it.
Oh, and even if they step up, if Luna steps up to go after T1, it's going to be in perfect. Oh, yeah, just going to pop out, and he goes for the shots, gets a knock on one, gets the second one. Luke clings to life, 14 kills for TSM, but it's going to be multiple T1 members just running in, trying to pick up some more, but not going to find it. Valiant effort coming up from TSM, but at the end of the day, it's going to be T1 that gets the victory.
Boy, that has to feel somewhat, it has to feel good for TSM, because I cannot tell you how many times in the past years I've seen TSM get taken advantage of by the final snake in the grass like that, and now they get to be the snake in the grass this time.
Dude, TSM has got just a ton of points on the day.